Yeah, so basically this is my reaction video towards Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Yeah, so I had time to, watch the trailer, and I wanted to gather, not only my thoughts, but everyone else's thoughts in the Pokemon community. At first glance, well, first of all, I was a little disappointed that it was not Generation 8 or Generation 4 remakes like I wanted, but hey, can't win them all. I think it's safe to say that, well, we knew it wasn't going to be Generation 8 because I think it would be too soon for that, and I've also heard reports that that Generation 8 will come out in 2019. That's a safe assumption, so it's safe to say that the mainstream core Pokemon game will be in 2019. So right now, this game is just a placeholder for 2018. So right now I'm going to talk about the good and the bad of what we've seen in the trailer so far, and I want to talk about the good first because I have more negativity than positive about this. So it's going to be a long one, so I hope you enjoy. And by the way, the footage I'm using is my Pokemon Platinum footage because Platinum is by far my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I just recently finished my Let's Play of it. You should check it out if you have a chance to see. Anyway, let's get on to the good points of this game. The good about it is you will have multiple save files, which is something that Game Freak should have had a long time ago, but better late than never. Because the one thing I've never liked in the save feature is that all that hard work you do to capture Pokemon, go through your quests, and then let's say one of these days you want to start over again, but you permanently delete your save file to start over again. I've always hated that feature, especially in Pokemon Black and White, because there was always a cryptic way to delete your save file. It's really hard to explain. So at least here you get to have multiple save files, which is great. I mean, come on, it's 2018. We should have already had this figured out years ago, but better late than never. Another positive is that a lot of Pokemon will be appearing in the overworld, similar to Pokemon Go, which is cool. So we're not going to have any random encounters, which is a positive, I guess, because the one thing that really is annoying about random encounters is that it's RNG heavy on specific Pokemon you want to catch, and every single Pokemon in a random encounter has a different catch rate and an encounter rate. So let's say, for instance, like every time you go inside a cave, obviously 10 times out of 10 you're going to run into a Zubat. Let's be perfectly honest, that's where that meme came from. So this is cool. So like if you run into any Pokemon you want to see, you could just encounter them, which is cool. Another cool feature is that Pokemon will be following you, similar to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I believe that was the last time Pokemon can follow you throughout your entire adventure. I know that Platinum also did the same thing with the park feature in Hearthome City, but that was only a small feature. Other than that, it's really cool to have your Pokemon follow you. We've been begging for this for years, but they just kept ignoring us. So in a mainstream game like this, that's cool. I do like that feature. Because in a Heart Gold, it was really cool having, your starter Pokemon follow you as they were small, and then they later in the game, as you progress, they eventually evolve into their final form, and that just shows a lot of hard work between trainer and Pokemon, and that's a really cool feature, and I'm grateful for it. And also, local multiplayer co-op is also awesome, because it's like if you have two players playing on one Nintendo Switch of the game, it's like almost like the anime. Like you get to have your own travel companion. You both can catch Pokemon at the same time. You get to go on the same travel together. It's really cool. It's a new feature. It's never been done before, so it's something that's an A+ in my book. Other than that, that's all the positive things I have to say about this. Now let's get on to the negative side about this. And right off the bat, the negative that I have about this game is that there are no battles at all with wild Pokemon. It's going off basically Pokemon Go mechanics, which I hate, honestly, because it breaks tradition and it's just a cheap way for Game Freak to get the Pokemon Go audience. And that's kind of an issue because I hated the mechanic in that game. That's why I never did a video on Pokemon Go, because I always despised the game. That's just my personal opinion on it. I never liked the game to begin with. That's why I never did a video on it. I just had, problems with it. I didn't like it, and I hate the fact that this feature is basically shoved down our throats. Well, at least in the trailer, it looked like it's shoved down our throats. Also, with the motion controls, I'm assuming the motion controls are not forced unless you're playing on dock mode, because I saw footage of you playing it in portable mode, so I'm assuming it's not all motion controls, which is great. Another negative is that there's no online features at all, so you can't, do online battles, which is really going to upset everybody who likes to play Pokemon competitively. I mean, isn't that basically the whole selling point of Pokemon? But, I mean, it's not a core title, so I can kind of understand why they didn't want to go with this feature. I mean, if you're going to have local multiplayer and not online multiplayer, I mean, that's kind of, why can't we just have both? But oh well, I mean, Game Freak's got their reasons. Another negative is that only 151 of the original Pokemon would be available, and that really is a downer. I mean, I know it's the Kanto region, I know you want to go all authentic, but there's like over 800 Pokemon in the universe as of right now. We don't have any confirmation on Generation 8, so that's a bummer, but, it's Generation 1, so I can kind of let it go. You want that whole authentic feeling of the game, so, I can't really be too upset about that going back to 151. I mean, it's really old school. The game is basically going off Pokemon Yellow logic. I mean, Yellow version's really popular. I mean, it's one of my favorites to play, honestly, having Pikachu. So, but now you have the option of having Eevee, which is another negative about the game. There's two versions of the game, so if you want Eevee as your starter, you have to get that version of the game. And guess how much, and the price of the both games are $60 a piece. That alone is a huge negative with me. Now, I can understand if it's a core Pokemon game. If it was Generation 8 for $60, I would have no issues with it. But the fact that this is just a placeholder game, $60 is out of the question. I do not feel comfortable paying that. It's basically entering Tropical Freeze territory where $60 is just too much for a game that really isn't worth that much. I think if it was at $40, I would consider getting one game at least, maybe both at $80 if that's the case, but you're talking $120 for both versions of the games that offer the same experience. And the thing is, like, why should I get both? Like you could just say, well, they have different exclusive Pokemon. No, they don't, because if you have a Pokemon Go account on your phone, you could just transfer those Pokemon from your Pokemon Go account right into your Switch and have them travel with you. So you don't even have that excuse anymore. Yeah, my apologies on that. Like I said, the reason why I do not add commentaries to most of my LPs is because I always have noise problems in this place all the time. Hope you understand that. Okay, so I was saying that, the Game Freak has no excuse anymore to give us, 2 games like they used to anymore, because they don't have that crutch anymore. But besides that, let's move on to our main points. Another reason is, going back to Kanto, I understand it's been done to death. I gave a free pass with Mega Evolutions in Generation 6 because it was just to make Generation 1 Pokemon stand out. It made things fresh, Mega Evolutions was cool and all that. So I gave it a free pass. But once Generation 7 happened with Sun and Moon, I just gave up on the series entirely. Because once Alola Forms came out, I just realized that Game Freak was purely lazy. Like, seriously, Alola Forms and Z moves? Are you serious? That just reeks of laziness. I didn't care for the mechanic whatsoever. I just skipped the Generation 7 entirely, which is rare to me. I never skipped the generation prior to that, and I've had high hopes for Generation 8, but unfortunately it's not coming out this year, but it's safe to say that it's going to come out in 2019, so, I don't know. I can see Game Freak going with Kanto Pokemon is a safer approach. That's why they went with the whole 151 roster, just so they could, get those Pokemon Go players who already have the game, to buy the Switch version of the game, to make sales. I understand that. But other than the fact, I am going to give Game Freak a free pass because they're taking risks. You know, I understand they're breaking tradition, they're trying a new formula. I wanted to give them a chance on that. The jury's still out on that, but we'll have to see how the future trailers go, and we'll see where they go from here. So I will be getting this game just to be curious. I mean, I did love Pokemon Yellow when it came out back, what, 20 years ago, I believe. So I will be getting Let's Go Pikachu because there's no point in playing as Eevee. I don't even think you could even evolve the Eevee you get. The same with Pikachu. I think you're stuck with those evolutions once you start. So don't think once you get Eevee you're going to get any of the evolutions. I don't think you will. You know, so you're basically going to be stuck with that Eevee you got, I'm assuming. Because I don't think in the original you could evolve Pikachu into a Raichu. In fact, Pikachu would hate you for that. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the silver lining, like I said, is that the mainstream core Pokemon game will come out in 2019. That's the only thing, you know, I have hope for. Other than that, this game is just a placeholder game. So, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it is Game Freak. I mean, I understand. I appreciate them from taking risks. I mean, changing the formula, we'll see where it goes from here. But other than that, I mean, it's Pokemon. I mean, it's always a fun franchise, you know, to play with, especially the spin-off games. And it's not, and let's be honest, it's not Sonic, but we're going to be disappointed once the mainstream game comes out and we all, you know, bitch and complain about it. Other than that, those are my final reactions. Well, I just had to get that out there, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Alright, peace.